Right? Bro, I haven't heard the song in ages, I swear. It's really been a while, but I guess Flashback Friday on Desert Radio.
Yes,
right?
And maybe go to Usakos more because I also know that you have reason to. So just like, please go to my family hometown and so you'll hear it every weekend.
I'm shocked at what you're saying. I must say. But moving on.
It is time for us to get into some more conversation for our Friday morning, and this is a fun one. And if you are watching us live on Facebook right now, you will see that we are in the presence of Gloria Del Mar Ndilula, and we'll be getting into conversation with the singer-songwriter with an innate talent for music. Guys, if you haven't heard Gloria, I don't know what you're doing, but just like get on it. Anyhow, she can play the guitar, ukulele, piano, and violin. And she says, right? I can't play anything. And she says that her songs are inspired by her everyday life. Now, I do want to add here that Gloria says she's a Gemini, so she has two sides to her personality. Sorry for that. One that's creative and lighthearted, and one that's more serious and analytical. And we're going to delve into that a little bit. She also says that she loves to write songs about both these aspects of her character. Now, her recent release, this was meant to be brief, is an emotionally charged EP that takes the listener on a journey through the ups and downs of falling in and out of love, which I love. Each song is unique and captures a different feeling associated with love. And the EP is like a jewelry box with each song represented by a piece of jewelry. Gloria, good morning.
Good morning. What an intro.
How are you this Friday morning?
I'm good. Not many complaints.
Okay.
It's just early.
Yes.
Which we discussed already.
Yes.
So.
I think our Desert Radio listeners also know much about that right now.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. The thing with creatives is, I don't know, there's just something about the night where that energy comes out.
Yes.
So y'all stay up all night and you need to
100%.
sleep all day.
Explain it to like my people. Thank you.
But we really do appreciate that you made the time and that we're going to have this conversation with you. I'm pretty excited about it, and it's going to be nice to just get to know you a bit.
Yeah.
Well, let's get straight into it. I think the first thing we'll start off with is, as CJ said, wow, well, you play many instruments. So talk to us about, when you developed this knack for music, instruments, and how you got into it, really.
Okay, well, I feel like I didn't have a choice when I was younger. My mom just put me in piano and was like, this is your after school thing.
Okay.
So I was like doing keyboard and piano for like a while. And then she says, oh, people who play piano can also play violin. Like, she just decided. And just like that, I was put into violin classes.
Wow.
And then it was really fun for a while. I did it at the College of the Arts. That was really fun. And then eventually I stopped with like the classical music. And I wanted to get into more acoustic, more R&B vibes. And so I asked my dad if he could help me get a guitar, so he got me a second-hand guitar, and then I just YouTube, my friend.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
YouTube. Same with the ukulele, you just pick it up and figure it out.
Oh,
So
wow.
self-taught.
Self-taught on those
Wow,
things,
that's impressive. Now, I want to know, was that your first introduction to music, or to you loving music, or did this happen at another point in your life? How did you, sort of gravitate towards the passion and love that you have for music right now?
I think I always just loved music. Like, I used to sing Britney Spears, like, when I was 3 years old in front of the TV. Like, I was Destiny's Child. I was learning the choreography. So I think I've always loved music. And then my sister she went to convent, so they got to put on musicals. And I was super jealous that I didn't go to convent. Just because I wanted to be in musicals.
You might just be a bit more jealous. There are two convent babies in the studio right now.
So which musicals were you in?
Lion King and Mary Poppins.
Mary Poppins.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
The rest of us we didn't get that. Cool, that's fine. But yeah, I just always wanted to be in like choir and singing. But I had a lot of performance anxiety. So I was like, I don't actually want to be singing in front of people. Just kidding. Like, I just want to sing for fun.
Yeah.
And then I got over that now. I was like, I actually want to sing in front of people for a bit. Yeah.
Yeah. And how is that? Because you say you got over it, but does that anxiety creep in ever, or have you become so comfortable with being on stage that you don't get too anxious anymore?
Hell no. I am anxious all the time. All the time. Like, I'm very vocal about mental health. I've lived with anxiety. I'm on medication for it. So, like, that's one thing I'm very grateful to have access to healthcare that can, like, take care of me. So that helped 1,000,000%. And then also just like the more you're up in front of people, the better it gets.
Yeah.
And I think you're always anxious right in the beginning because you don't know the audience.
Yeah.
But after like a song or two, you kind of feel the vibe and you feel comfortable like speaking to them because like it is like a back and forth in a conversation you have with the audience. So
Yeah.
it does become fun.
So then perhaps for the benefit of our listeners and viewers who perhaps do experience anxiety when they do have to perform or speak in front of people, what techniques would you advise them to use, or sort of just a safe space to go to just to overcome that anxiety?
Deep breaths
Yeah.
are your best friend.
Mm-hmm.
And then just kind of like, I think if you're performing, get to the space early so that you can feel the space. So that you don't get like the shock of getting there and then now you have to perform. So like you get there, you feel the space, you take deep breaths, and then I always have like sometimes a paper clip in my pocket or something so that I can fiddle with that if I'm nervous because I'm a fiddler as well. As you can see, like, now I have nails, so I'm fiddling with my nails. But I think that's always good. And also like essence, like lavender essence on your wrists and here so that you can just smell it and be calm. Just like little cheat points.
Yeah.
Anything you can do to make yourself a bit more calm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And despite the anxiety and like the methods that you have to push through that, do you get any sense of like calmness from your audience usually, or how does the audience play into your performances?
I think like depending on the song, if it's a fun song, it's really nice if they get into it. So sometimes like I have a song, Sorry Baby, where I teach the audience sign language because that's in the chorus.
Yeah.
So before I sing the song, I'll teach it to them and then they get really, really into it and that's fun. And then if it's like a very slow song, I find like if it's really nice and quiet, you can get into the meaning of the song and forget the anxiety of performing because like you want the message of the song to come through more than anything else. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, I'm also interested in the aspects of your life. Not only are you multi-talented in that you can play many instruments, but you're also balancing, your musical passion and career with school.
Yes.
How's that going?
It's rough.
Yeah?
It's why I'm a night owl. Yeah.
So, do you make sure that you make time for both, or does one sometimes take precedence over the other? How does that work?
I think if it's two things, I can juggle it well. When it becomes three, it's like I get very overwhelmed. So like at some point I was doing the music, school and work, and I was just like, I could not manage it at all. And those things lead to like panic attacks or nervous breakdowns. So like, just to catch yourself, if you know it's not going to be, you're not going to manage, like, just to tell myself, like, it's not a failure to just step out of one thing for a little bit. Like, if I have to step back at school for a bit and let the music run, or step out of the music for a bit and, like, focus on school. Like, just finding balance. Yeah.
Yeah. And, what do you do, let's say, because school is a lot, that's first of all. Balancing a career with that is a lot. So when you do get time to break away, what do you get up to? Like, where do you find your center?
Sleep. I love to sleep. All my friends will tell you, like, so honest. Like, before we go out, I'm like, I just need a nap. And they're like, can you just finish your nap so we can go somewhere? And I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. Like, I sleep, I read. I'm currently watching The Office.
Okay.
Because I've never watched it before. And my friend got me into it and I was like,
okay.
It's actually really funny. Whatever.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I have a dog. I walk with my dog, I go hiking. But mostly I just sleep. Like, I really love to sleep, guys. I can't lie.
I love that you say that because, guys, sleep can be a hobby.
Yeah. No,
it can totally be a hobby.
Yeah. And it really takes you to a calm place.
Yes,
yeah,
it does.
Really just, you shut the world off for a second, you just chill and sleep.
Yeah.
Give me a job where I can get paid to sleep and I will make a lot of money.
A
lot.
I want the same. Please, somebody create a job where we get paid to sleep.
Yes. Like,
now, let's talk a little bit about your music. Or I guess before we get to that, let's talk a little bit about Namibian music, right? Have you in any way or form been inspired by any Namibian musicians? And if so, who are they?
Lioness.
Yeah?
I don't know how that woman does it. Like, I don't know how she juggles like a medical career and a full-on music career. And now she's just had a baby.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, she's a superstar and she makes it look so easy. So I'm super inspired by her, like, and I've watched her grow literally as an artist. And so I was just like, you know what, if Lioness is doing medicine and says, I want to do medicine and music, then like I can do whatever it is in music too. Yeah.
Is that somebody you'd potentially want to work with?
Oh, put it out there.
Yeah?
I claim it.
You heard it live on Desert Radio.
Ines, we hope you're listening.
Yeah.
Gloria would love to work with you, so call her. And then your music, talk to us about that. You recently put out an EP. Talk to us about what inspired that, and also generally where you draw your inspiration from.
Right, so, okay, last year I was up to a lot. I was up to a lot of things. I was in the streets. That's the honest truth. I experienced a lot of things in the streets, and I was like, I don't like it here.
Yeah.
And so like I wrote a lot of songs about it, because it's like, I think the dating culture in Windhoek, or like in like this generation, is so interesting, because it's all about like hide your feelings and mind games and gaslighting and who doesn't care, or like let's be nonchalant. I'm very chalant. I literally have a tattoo of a heart on my sleeve. I am like a feelings first person. So I was like, a lot of you are not direct with your feelings, and it's very confusing. So yeah, I just experienced a lot of that, wrote about it, and like sometimes I'll write about a friend's experience, but I'll always ask for permission first. I'll be like, hey girl, can I write about that guy? Wanted to kill that guy. Is that okay? And she'll be like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, cool. So mostly from that, and then also just like from my own feelings, like I said, with anxiety and everything and the things you experience, I like to write about those things, because I like to listen to songs about that, and I like to read poetry about it. So I might as well write about things that I real life experience. Yeah.
And then with that, when you do make your music, especially from experiences, are there a few things that you perhaps learn about yourself while you're writing the songs, while you're performing the songs, that do come out of those experiences that you've never thought about before?
Yeah.
Yeah? Tell us about that.
I feel like maybe the thing that was the most surprising was I thought I had overcome a lot of insecurity, and in writing the songs I rediscovered like just ways that they went and changed themselves and re-hit themselves. So I was like, oh my gosh, okay, I need to work on that, and like that's very interesting. Or like maybe you want to write a love song about someone and you start writing the song and you realize, I don't really like you that much. And then you scrap the song.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And then the title of the EP is This Was Meant to Be Brief. Now, is that title to say that like the EP was meant to be brief, or the romance was meant to be brief?
Both.
Both?
Ooh.
Both. The EP was essentially only going to be 2 songs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, and maybe the intro.
Yeah.
And then like all these other songs started like popping up around it, and I was like, okay, I'm not releasing an album, like that's too much. Let me like narrow it down to a couple songs. And even like right at the end I cut one song. I was like, no, it can't be on this. But yeah, both the EP was supposed to be short, and also like romance is like sometimes you think like, oh, it's just gonna be a quick thing, and then you suffer the feelings of it or the experience of it for like a year, and you don't even like realize why. So yeah.
Oh, shame, man. I feel like I can hear how broke your heart,
It
bro.
killed
I'm
me.
sorry.
It killed me. They're not nice out there.
From what I've been told, apparently the streets are cold.
The streets are very cold.
That's what I hear.
You need a number of blankets.
That's
when
a
you're
bit
out there.
hectic.
Be safe.
I want to know also, how's the reception been to your EP, man? How are people feeling it? How are they liking it? What's that looking like?
They're so kind.
Yeah?
They're so kind. And I get so nervous all the time. Like, I'll put something out and I'll be like, please listen. And then I'll like try and disappear and like not have my phone on, because I don't want to hear any opinions. Because when you make the song, or when you write the song, it's just yours. And like you love it so much. And then you put it out there and you're like, oh shit, what if like they don't like it? And then you remind yourself, no, I like the song. So like that's enough. But people have been really kind. They are on my ass though, because I was supposed to release the EP in June.
Okay.
So they're like, where's the music? Yeah, I'm like, it's coming. They don't believe me anymore.
I mean, at this point, guys, we know how creatives work. They have a process.
Yeah.
There's a lot that goes into it. So people just need to be a bit more patient, no?
It needs to be, yeah, they need to be patient, because like, I don't want to give them like a, half done thing.
Yeah.
Like, because I listened to it a million times before I put it anywhere.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if I even hear like something at the end, I'm like, that song needs to be reworked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we also know that you are the host of the Karaoke at Finals, right? Which I love myself. But also just talk to us a little bit about that, man, and how how engaging the crowd is when it comes to karaoke and how much fun you have there. What does that side look like?
I love vinyls. It's like my second home at this point.
Yeah.
I walk in and I'm like, hey guys. But I was super happy when they asked me to host. Because I've been to like a bunch of the karaoke nights and it's always, like the energy in the room is always really fun. The first hour, nobody wants to sing. It's like 4 people sign up and it's the regulars and you have to go